Venus in 5th house in Capricorn Ascendant. Venus in 5th house. The natives born with Venus in 5th house carry a very generous and kind attitude for which they would be liked and known to many around, besides which they will possess a humanitarian approach for which they could be involved in some social services or related professions like teaching. These people having Venus in 5th house are perceived to be truly charming since their birth, for which they are very attractive personalities and get easily attracted towards others. This makes them very easy and free with their hearts, and so on they could be quite flirty and playful in their attitude, while on the other part, they are truly romantic, for which they will be true and devoted lovers when they would get their soulmates once they are loyal in their closed relationships. Apart from this, the natives having Venus in 5th house are truly creative and artistic from birth and could also make their careers in the same arena. These natives are quite inclined towards worldly pleasures and are somewhat materialistic, for which they could be seen enjoying all the worldly delights. If the native having Venus in 5th house would stay on the moral path and would keep her character untainted, then the person would stay safe from the malefic effects of this placement, and he or she would attain good affluence and growth, besides which being loyal to the spouse would bring great benefits. These people are believed to win over their enemies. The natives of this placement of Venus in 5th bhava should never marry against the wishes of her parents. They should stay loyal to their spouse and should not pursue adultery. These people should marry only with the accord and conformity of the parents. Venus in Taurus. Taurus is a sign ruled by Venus itself, and those with Venus placed in Taurus at the time of birth tend to be quite beautiful and attractive, since Venus is the planet of love and beauty. Such people are of an independent nature. They do not like their freedom to be snatched away. There is a strong fondness for nature, pleasures and excitement in life. People with Venus in Taurus are quite elegant and sophisticated, with refined manners. Their taste in dance and music is exceptional and quite rich. They are fond of artistic pursuits. There is a strong desire in these natives to live a luxurious lifestyle, bubbling with riches, stately homes and vehicles. These natives also want to look attractive and spend a lot of time and money on their beauty regime. They also want to be complimented. Their sex drive is quite earthy indeed. They are quite practical when it comes to their needs. They do, however, want stability in their life, so tend to be loyal and constant. Their approach in love is quite direct and simple. They tend to take their relationship seriously and handle love life with caution. 5th Lord in the 5th house. When 5th Lord sitting in 5th house, if the planet is in good dignity, then the native is very intelligent, good in discrimination, unjudging power in speculative business, good in scripture knowledge and practice, have good children, playful, interest in sports, entertainment, romance and get love from mate. If the planets are not in good dignity, then the native may have problem with children, have eye on other people money, invest in wrong things, problems with children and romantic partners. 10th Lord in the 5th house. The person have career through intelligence. If the planet in good dignity, then the person shines well as a broker and engages in speculation and similar business. The person can be investor, tax consultant, lawyer, in big corporation jobs, teaches spiritual technique. The person leads a simple and pious life, engaging himself in prayers and pious activities. Focused on children of air, may become the head of an orphanage or remand home. Jobs comes easily due to past life karmas, can be in sports and entertainment field. If the planet is not in good dignity or weak, then the office romance can bring problem in career, children cause complication at work area, not successful in speculation or similar career. Venus in 6th house in Capricorn Ascendant. Venus in 6th house. The planet Venus or Venus is the provider of calmness in attitude and gentleness to the core, for which the presence of planet Venus in 6th house would bestow the softness to the aspects of this house. These natives would stay affectionate even at their workplace, besides which they would be admired and loved by many around for being truly flexible and humanitarian at workplace as well. The natives of this placement of Venus in 6th house would create a pleasing and peaceful environment at work and would be very helpful to others, as they would carry the approach of growing with everyone around, besides which their charming and warm persona would develop strong relations around at workplace. These people would rarely have any foes and enemies at work. Apart from this, their sincerity and determination towards work will make them attain acknowledgement from the superiors. The natives of this placement of Venus in 6th house would create an interesting and loving environment even at workplace, but they will remain sincere towards work. They will keep the optimism alive in the air. The 6th house gets impacted to planet Mercury and Ketu, who shares an inimical relation in between, but the planet Venus shares a pleasant relation with both, for which this placement appears to be good for the natives of this placement, but it's also the place of debilitation for the planet Venus, which could also reverse the impacts as depending upon the planetary placements. The natives of this placement of Venus in 6th house should keep the opposite gender happy and should provide them all the comforts, as it will bring good growth of affluence and position to the native. The wife of the male native should not get dressed like males and should not have the hair cut resembling males, as it will bring poverty to the native's place, and the native's spouse should not remain barefooted. These people having Venus in 6th bhava should marry the one having brothers. These people should not ever leave their works incomplete. It is beneficial if the native's wife wears gold clips over her hair. Venus in Gemini. At the worst, Gemini can be fantasist, flirtatious, superficial and inconsistent, especially when a feminine sign comes in association. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which shares a friendly relationship with Venus. When the air of Gemini meets the water of Venus, all that remains is a bubbly personality. People with Venus in Gemini are childlike, and at the worst, childish. They want to make the most of this life, and enjoy it in every possible sense. These people are open, direct, friendly, sociable, impatient and restless. They can be fickle and shallow too. They always remain in an excited mood, quite like a child, but they also lack a sense of maturity needed to sustain life without much damage. Their attitude towards romance is also childlike. They are too optimistic in love and approach every new relationship with new hopes and expectations. There is an undying need to speak out what's troubling them in their heart. These natives cannot contain their feelings. They especially need friends and an active social life, so they don't burst their mind thinking of the real and imaginary problems in their married life. Venus in Gemini gives a strong penchant for arts too. In fact, the native can be skillful in writing and poetry as well. 5th Lord in the 6th house. When 5th Lord sitting in 6th house, if the planet is in good dignity, then the native is service-oriented, have good skill in healing, do social spiritual service, have good romantic strength, kids are active and have good fighting ability for disease, have love for animals, use alternative therapy in healing disease. If the planet is not in good dignity, then the native may have problem abortion, miscarriage and arguments and fighting with children, children sick often, may adopt kids, lack of love from mates, trouble in dating and investments, may have problem with government. 10th Lord in the 6th house. The person have career through service. If the planet in good dignity, then the person will have an occupation of medical, legal, security areas, exercise, physical or massage therapist, animal worker, gets boost from maternal relations, very good at providing service. If the planet is not in good dignity or weak, then the person have manuals jobs, struggle to keep working, low paying occupations, dispute and enemies at workplace, may get dishonor, lawsuits at work, hurt career, gets into debts, lives outside their means, low paying jobs in the service industry. If debilitated Rahu or debilitated Malefic are with the 10th Lord in the 6th house, the person may suffer disgrace in his career. He may be exposed to criminal action and face imprisonment. Need to careful. Venus in 7th house in Capricorn Ascendant. Venus in 7th house. The planet Venus or Venus is the giver of righteous approach along with charm in the human lives, while the placement of planet Venus in 7th house would bring the same shades into the relationships of the native. The natives of this placement of Venus in 7th house would carry a serious and sincere approach towards relationships, especially towards marriage, and would be the givers in relationships. They would carry very peaceful and harmonious relationships upon land and would develop strong and deep bonds with those around, as indeed with almost most of around, for which they are perceived to possess many true friends in their life. The most of the credit for having so many strong relations in life would be given to these natives only as they truly deserve it. In the same way, they would have a very well-balanced conjugal path. The natives of this placement of Venus in 7th house give immense significance to their relationships, as they are the only way to attain mental peace and happiness for them, for which they are truly devoted in their relationships and are deeply warm and affectionate to their closed ones. They will put all the efforts to keep the understanding and harmony alive in the relationship, but these people are advised not to bend till the extent of losing their own existence. The natives of this placement having Venus in 7th house are quite hasty in making relationships, and this could be a reason for their problems and mental instability at times. These people are truly charming and are believed to have charming partners. The people born with Venus in their 7th bhava would also be efficient enough to maintain public relations at a high chore. The placement of Venus in the 7th house is perceived to be one of the most auspicious placements and the one which brings most of benefic results to the native. If any inimical planet to Venus gets placed in the 1st house, as if Rahu would be in 1st house, then the native's spouse and her household affairs would get adversely affected. The native would waste her wealth over opposite gender and could turn towards immoral path if other planetary placements won't support this placement. The natives of this placement having Venus in 7th bhava would be truly benefited if they would pursue any business associated with marriage ceremony, parlor, tent house, or something that would play a role in marriages. These people will be benefited by any kind of association with one-eyed and black women. The natives of this placement should possess cows as pets in their home and should serve red cows. Donating jewelry equal to the weight of your spouse in a temple will also bring you benefits. Besides this, the natives of this placement should throw blue flowers in a dirty canal for 43 days. Venus in Cancer. Cancer is a water sign, ruled by Moon, which is a watery planet. Moon shares an inimical relationship with Venus, which again is a feminine watery planet. People born with this placement are under the strong influence of the water element and have a quick flow of feelings. They are sensitive and quickly get attached to people. They are especially vulnerable in love because they can be easily sweet-talked and can get hurt. They trust others easily and are quite optimistic in love matters. They get attracted to the opposite sex and their own personality is also magnetic. They are nonetheless quite sympathetic to others. Venus in Cancer makes the person wise, learned, strong, virtuous and powerful in terms of social and professional success. It also gives a strong penchant for creative and artistic pursuits. These people do well in creative fields such as arts and beauty. They desire a lot of wealth and happiness in life. They usually face troubles due to their strong linkage with women and wine. They can be quite moody and unpredictable too. People with Venus in Cancer should try to be emotionally strong. They should avoid the tendency to sulk and blame it all on themselves. 5th Lord in the 7th house. When 5th Lord sitting in 7th house, if the planet is in good dignity, then the native have love for business and partners, friendly nature, jolly nature, lucky in marriage, good relationship with children, satisfied in physical needs, love for partner, good marriage, forms good business deals and agreement, business related with speculation and gambling, sports, entertainment, and partner is spiritual. If planet is not in good dignity, then the native is sexually overactive, partner remain unsatisfied sexually, not able to do business in proper way, trouble in foreign business, children may born in distant place or away in foreign country. 10th Lord in the 7th house. The person have career through partnership. If the planet is in good dignity, then the person will have a partner who will assist the native in his work. The person experts at relationship and diplomacy, keeps balance with others. The person may travel abroad on diplomatic missions, will be well known for his skill in talking and achieving objectives, make profits through partnerships and cooperative ventures, profitable business agreements. If the planet is not in good dignity or weak, then the person have problem from the spouse is not supportive, bad partnerships could hinder career, needs to draw line between business and inappropriate affairs. Venus in 8th house in Capricorn Ascendant. Venus in 8th house. The planet Venus or Venus is one of the auspicious presents in the planetary placements in the horoscope charts, but it provides variant impacts which could be either pleasant or even adverse at times. The placement of Venus in 8th house would bring some easy benefits to the person and would keep her path of life quiet, comfortable and simpler. The natives of this placement of Venus in 8th house would be endowed with financial gains from variant channels in their life path, with special indication towards financial benefits from the marriage. These people would possess many relations around in the social as well as professional arenas who would bring her true and strong benefits, even though all of them won't be much deep and strong beneath. These people having Venus in 8th house could be perceived as fortunate and blessed walkers of the financial path. They won't be asked to put much of efforts for achieving what they want, and for the same, they would lead a life free from worries and without much of hurdles in their path. They won't confront the real hardship of life and would be truly fun living and vivacious in their attitude. Sincerity won't be a part of their personality. Apart from this, the placement of Venus in 8th house would make the person quiet, possessive and jealous in approach towards the relationships around. They are quiet, attached in relationships for being loving and warm from the core and so on. They would spread love and crave for the same, but would be fearful at the core. They would fear from being hurt and betrayed in relationships, for which they would have very few relationships in the early or young age. Besides this, they are quite fantastical in their attitude towards relationships and wish to live in the fantastical arena only, as simple and practical things won't attract them. They are passionate in love and are truly vulnerable inside. These people could even make out business from the arena of love. As the 8th house is at its own a negative arena for which no planet could stay completely positive here, for which Venus here will also bring some adverse impacts as comprising aggression and short temperament to the spouse of the native. Besides this, most of the negative words of the native would become true and would be harmful. He or she would have a feeling of being misfortunate and would be very depressed at the mental composure at times. The natives of this placement of Venus in 8th house should never give any kind of assurance for anyone else, besides which the vacant 2nd house would create problems in the conjugal path if the person would marry before 25 octoskins of her age, which could even include the death of the spouse. You should never accept anything in donation or for free from others, or should never accept the favors from others. You would pay respect and true worship to deities and should bend your head in temples. These natives should throw a copper coin or blue flower into a gutter or flowing dirty water for continuous 10 days. Venus in Leo. Leo is a fire sign ruled by Sunday. Venus and Sun are inimical towards each other, but this doesn't affect this placement negatively. Sun is considered as an influential planet in astrology. The fire of Sun here evaporates the water energy of Venus and creates a balanced personality. People born with Venus in Leo are warm-hearted, compassionate and determined beings. They have a zeal for life. They are here on this earth to make it large. They have a strong desire of self-expression. Venus affords them with the creative energy and Sun gives them the confidence. These people are natural showmen and do well in performing arts. Love is what gives them happiness. The feeling of being in love keeps them over the moon. With Venus in Leo, you have a magnetic personality that helps you lure your love interests to you. Your courtship is marked by charm, poise, romance, excitement and mannerism. You tend to follow all the dating rituals quite religiously. You are a loyal partner indeed, especially if your partner gives you freedom and power to lead the relationship. Your way of loving is quite lavish, and so is your lifestyle. 5th Lord in the 8th house. When 5th Lord sits in 8th house, if the planet is strong, then the native is interested in dark and hidden knowledge. They like to study in metaphysical, mythology, fantasies, and science fiction, have good knowledge in scripture. They have long life, can do meditation for long time. If the planet is not in good dignity, then the person may worried for children, confused mind, may adopt children, unsatisfied, weak mind, have mysterious disease hard to diagnose, make poor investment, may have trouble in dating, feel lack of love from romantic partner, not able to stabilize mind, face difficulty in meditation or other spiritual practice. 10th Lord in the 8th house. The person have career of the mystery. If the planet is in good dignity, then the person is good researcher and analyst, spy or detective, involved in healing and medical fields, insurance, estate planning, affairs of the dead, interest in psychology factors at work, mystical, spiritual, and psychologist. If Jupiter is the 10th Lord in the 8th house, he will become a mystic or spiritual teacher. If the planet is not in good dignity or weak, then the person has many breaks in career, lack in self-promotion, fearful at workplace, does not ask enough for themselves, scandals, damaged career, may not get the full credits for their business success, may work unethical or inappropriate methods. If Saturn 10th Lord in 8th house, the person an undertaker or otherwise employed in burning gates or in graveyards, etc.